A package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail, those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with my monthly update and vlog for August 2022. Yeah, pretty good month. Settling into my new job. Enjoying it quite good. Mostly dealing with data. Data in, data out, transformed, all that sort of stuff. Been doing it for years, but now focusing just on that in the particular role I'm in and enjoying it. Pretty much finished my first section of work in the testing phase and moving on to some new stuff. So it's all good and enjoyable, getting more balance back in my life. Plus my daughter's house settlement is next Monday, and we'll finally get all this stuff that's in this room out of here, and I can get the game room back to back into good order and start building some new shelves and things like that, especially now that wood and stuff like that is generally available. Now I have some other pickups. This is actually one I forgot last month. So this was for the Coleco based item. So it's a set of cards that came in this case. I need to get some more of the collector card display pages for these. This is a first set, and they're going to do another set. So this is the North American series. So ColecoVision trading cards, North American series. They've got a couple of descriptor cards. So it's by Team Pixel Boy, who's published titles, homebrew titles for the ColecoVision for many years. What it is all the North American releases. So each of the covers, 2010 there, from all of the publishers. So there's Decathlon. Try and do this without messing them all up. Yeah, and all the North American covers. So there we go, there's Buck Rogers. And on the back of the cards, I'll drop the whole stack otherwise. So we'll go back to the Decathlon. So on the back is a little description of the game and some ratings. So we have how big the cartridge is, how many controllers it supports. I'm not sure what the 4A is on that one. And yeah, so there's a few different symbols. I think saying what type of game it is as well. So 2010 graphical action game has a few different symbols on it. There is an actual thing that says what these things are. I suppose I should have gone through those. Oh, okay, so here we go. So on our first one we have homebrew, unreleased homebrew and prototype. And then arcade game, double ender, hardware and controller. Multicart SGM, which is a super game module, and space themed. Then you've got flight themed, war themed, shooter and platformer for general category. Maze adventure and sports. Racing, driving, ball and paddle and action for more categories. Puzzle, card game, edutainment, sim, 0 and extra controller, regular controller, no button, regular controller, 1 button, regular controller, 2 buttons. That's what the controller symbol meant. So roller controller, expansion module 2, super action controller, regular overlay, super action overlay, and two keypad overlays. I didn't know some games came with 2. Okay. And you've got 1 player, 2 player, 2 players alternating, so 2A. 1 player and 2 players alternating, and then 1 player. So the 4A was 4 players alternating. There we go. And then homebrew box image on the front side of a homebrew. So there are, I didn't realise there were homebrews in here. So Let's search through a little bit. I'll see what I can find. I suppose they're going to do more series. So these are the North American games to start with. So there we go. There's a Mr. Do's Castle. Oil's Well. What a great game. Okay, and there's different covers. So it was released multiple times. There's another version of the cover. Yeah, just having a bit of a look through. No, there's two different pit stop covers here. Two different Popeyes. So I really need to get these into the card sleeves because it's much easier to have a look at cards like this when you've got them card sleeves. And they are doing a follow-up, Sector from Spectravideo, a follow-up series where they're going to do the European ones, European set, and a bonus set, which is going to include some homebrews and things. So as I said, at the moment we haven't got any homebrews. Of course, one of my favourites, pinball. Yeah, they're really well done. They're really good quality. The cards have a good feel to them. Another one of my favourites, Duck and Come. And it's good to see the variety of the different colours, and it'll be interesting to see what the European variants are like. Okay, and then we've got some more variants near the end there. Well, these are all the so Mat Patrol was these are early homebrews, yes, okay. And then you had Moon Patrol, the original supposed cover, Pac-Man. Yeah, so very, very good set of cards. Very pleased to have them. I said I need to get the card sleeves so I can pop them in there and then be able to properly look through them. With the card sleeves you can also see both sides too when you flip them over. So that was a surprise that showed up. I do remember because they come all the way from Canada and it can take quite some time for the post to arrive. I suppose smaller package, and it was a little bit sooner than I was expecting. Alright, so the next item on the list, I sort of don't have a huge list here, but I bought a Switch game. One of my friends was showing it, I think it was Mark Lactobacillus Prime, and I went, I really like the look of that shoot 'em up. Now I do actually have a small collection of Switch titles, but as I think I've previously said, I don't actually own my own Switch. My youngest daughter has a Switch, which I thought, up until I got this game, that she was mostly had given up and wasn't using lately. But instead of it being in the lounge room like it has been for ages, it is now set up in her room. So I have managed, so the game is Androgynous 2. So of course no manual or anything like that, you just get the card and the case. But when she was dancing, I managed to borrow the Switch and play it for a little while, and I really do enjoy it. And I do actually have several other Switch titles there that I haven't really had the chance to play because of access to a Switch. So I'm probably going to get one in the next couple of months. The OLED Switch was actually on special this month, but it just wasn't good timing. It wasn't the time of the year when I can buy something as big as a console. But maybe in a couple of months' time, I'll keep my eye out and see if they have the OLED Switches on special. And I'll have to get myself one, so because I definitely enjoyed playing this. And then if you want to know a funny story, so I have quite a decent Neo Geo CD collection, and that's actually how I started collecting Neo Geo's titles. And I have most of the shoot 'em ups. And I do not have Androgynous, the first game, on on Neo Geo CD. I'm not even sure it came out onto the CD version. And it did come out for the MVS, and I do have that MVS multi-cart in that system over there, but I'd never realised that Androgynous was on it. So, I don't think it's quite in shot, but I actually have it on and playing over there, and I have played it a couple of times. It's quite a good game, and this is quite a good, more modern follow-up to it. So, I really do like it. It's quite an enjoyable, fairly laid back to start with, so you can get into it pretty easy, but then it starts getting harder. Yeah, highly recommended. Wasn't very expensive, and definitely don't regret getting it. Alright, so next pickup. I'm going to start showing these as I get them, because the covers, it's all about the covers. So obviously Retro Gamer, everybody, well, most people know about Retro Gamer magazine. Obviously I live in Australia, I have to wait a while between issues sometimes, and sometimes you get a whole lot at once. So within 2 days I got 3 issues. The first issue to show up is actually the newest one, is a Street Fighter one, and it is, excuse my eyes, 226, issue 226, followed by these two. So the oldest one, and it's got an absolutely awesome cover, so 234 is this one, and this is what I'm showing you because I really like the covers. Obviously have a particular fondness for Sonic. They've got a Sonic, anniversary special on there, talking about the Sonic Origins title that's coming out. It also came with a Sonic Greatest Moments little flyer as well to have more content. So it was very enjoyable. That's the one I've completely read so far. I started with, got the Street Fighter one the day before. Just I'd only got a chance to read the intro. And the one that I started reading last night and also arrived at the same time is this one here. And of course it's got a lovely Wonder Boy inspired thing. Another one of my favourite games. And I've just got to the Wonder Boy article in it. And it's really good. And just look at that cover. Awesome. So yeah, that was just a little extra. Now the next thing is a trade, and normally I do trades as a separate video, but I'm going to have difficulty playing this one because I'm having some difficulty with my hardware, which I'll explain in a minute, but I thought I'd better show it, otherwise it could take some time. So a YouTuber I have known for over 10 years, Alan, Irish Nerd Life in Ireland. I basically met him through YouTube, and we're both into collecting for the Master System back in the day. Now he recently has finally finished his complete Master System set. I'll see if I can put a link down to that video down here. It's well worth watching as he goes through and shows the whole set. It's been a long task to collect all of them. And we traded. I sent him a copy of Wanted for the Master System, which I actually ended up getting 3 copies of here in Australia, so it seemed to be very common in Australia but rare elsewhere. So I sent him that, and I traded some I think I might have traded some another Master System title for that one. Now I did stop collecting for the Master System, well, not stop collecting, but stopped actively collecting because I was having a lot of difficulty finding the titles that I needed to complete the set. Postage rates went up and things like that, and I think that's when I discovered the auction sites in Japan, and thus switched a lot of my collecting towards to be Japan focused. But I have picked up on occasion Master System titles in between. I think it was probably about 2 and a bit years ago. I bought some 3 Master System titles that I needed for the collection, quite rare and uncommon ones, from a friend in Melbourne. There was another system from Sega that I also collect, which is none other than the Game Gear. Now, once again, I haven't had a title for the Game Gear for ages, and Alan just showed some of his trades and things like that, and this was one of the ones, and I said, would you like to trade for something? And I've sent him some things. I won't spoil, he'll possibly do a video. Now, Australian freight being what it is, he paid $5.50 to send me this. It cost me, don't worry about this, Alan, I don't mind, $25 Australian to send him something of similar size back to him, and it still hasn't got there. And we posted our things on the same day, and mine's got tracking on it, and all it's listed as left Australia. So it's pretty poor service from our Australian postal service, but anyway. It's a title for the Game Gear. Now, I'm not going to be able to play it because I got my Game Gear out and I haven't had it out for quite some time. And I did have 3. I can only find one. I know where one is because I sent it to a gentleman in New Zealand who was going to use it for some project. And I did have 2 that both had... one was mostly working. The screen was a little glitchy, but otherwise worked. and the other one I believe has no sound. I can't find that one. I found the one where the screen was starting a little glitchy, and of course what's happened? The capacitors have gone in the screen. Now I do actually have cap replacement kits for my Game Gears. I've got 2 of them, and I need to find that other Game Gear, so perhaps when I tidy up all this stuff from my daughter moving out, I'll be able to find it. But anyway, what did he trade me? So it's Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap, which, as I once again mentioned, I really love Wonder Boy. I've never played the Game Gear version of this, so this is going to be a very good thing to stir me on and replace the caps in my Game Gear, get it up and working again so I can play this. So obviously future video down the road. Now, very important is he sent a note, which I now feel very bad because I didn't put a note in the one I sent him, because I wanted to get it to him as quickly as possible. It was only a really small package, so I may send him an e-note in response, because he's gone to such a trouble of writing this, and very good too. So he says, "Hey Tony, can you believe it's been 10 years since our last trade? Back in July 2012, he's very good with dates by the way, I managed to add Wanted to my SMS collection thanks to your kind trade. I actually still have the note and Sega cards too." I sent him some Sega trading cards. "It's interesting to think several Master System collectors that started on YouTube around the same time are still going. 2D UK and myself, 2D UK beat Alan by a couple of months, have both managed to complete their sets, so hopefully you'll get some lucky breaks and join the club too. I do have some quite hard ones to find. I can understand the shift in focus given to how you're challenging your Master System collecting has become. Hard to justify the crazy prices some things are going for when you have a veritable buffet of Japanese imports available." Yes, so I am rather spoilt with access to Japan. Very close to Australia, so the freight rates are not too bad. Although I will say, of recent times, Japan Post will not post to Australia, so the only way you can get stuff from Japan now is DHL and FedEx. And DHL, you need to make a decent sized box to make it worthwhile. So these couple of boxes that I've got lately have worked out okay. Anyway, here's to our next trade in 2032. All the best, Alan, Irish Nerd Love. Oh, I hope it's not 2032, Alan. Well, I'm sure we'll find something else to trade. I really appreciate the note. Everybody go check out his full Sega Master System collection video, because that is a mammoth task completed. Very well done, very complete. And he's even gone to the trouble of recording when he got each of the games, and pretty much how much he paid for them too. So far better record keeper than me, and it's actually a really interesting video, so go check that out. Now, what do I have for you next? Now, I was also very lucky this month to go to a local pinball event called TazPin. So we have a fairly large group of people here in Tasmania, Australia, who are into pinball. Now I only have the Attack from Mars arcade one-up virtual pinball, so I don't have a real pinball yet. I would love to get one. And went along to this, so they arranged this event where they got 50 machines together from various collectors around the state, put them in a venue. They got support from various people, so they didn't have to pay for the venue. They got advertising on local TV, all provided because the charge at the door was to go towards charity. Now 50 different pinball machines, all up and working in a venue. Amazingly, my wife agreed to go with me because we drove up in the morning. We went to the afternoon session on the Saturday for 3.5 hours. And my wife actually played pinball for 3.5 hours. She was expecting to go up there, have a bit of a look and sit down and have a coffee and play it on her phone. But no, she actually played pinball for 3.5 hours. And I have proof in the little snippets I'm about to show you is my wife playing Jurassic Park. She actually quite liked that one. But no, I don't have the money to buy a pinball machine at the moment, as much as I would love to. And that Jurassic Park would probably be on the short list. And anyway, so there were 3.5 hours of pinball joy. I played as many machines as I could. I couldn't play every machine. Also, there were 2 machines there from an Australian pinball manufacturer called Haggis Pinball. you had the original game Celts, which we did play, and they had their brand new under license game, which is a reimagining of the pinball game Fathom. Unfortunately, just as we went to play that, it broke down. One of the it was brand new out of the box, and it had a trouble with I believe something to do with the flippers motors, and anyway, they got parts going and they had it working right at the end of the session, so we didn't actually get to have a chance. I hopefully have taken pictures. I tried to take pictures of every pinball where I could. I may have missed some. Even the ones I didn't play, I tried to take some extra pictures, but we'll see how we go in the montage. I used my my iPhone, so I used the little mini movie it does, so you get a little bit of animation in the montage. But it was just fantastic. These guys arranged this. They had 3 sessions: the Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and the Super Sunday session. We stayed overnight at a local hotel, which was nice, and had a meal. And would have loved to have stayed on the Sunday, but we had things to get back to for our children, and we probably would have gone back and had another session. But anyway, the guys are very, very happy. They actually managed to raise $4,500, and they have donated it to the 4K Children's Ward, 4K Children's Ward in Launceston. So very happy that they've done that. So all the proceeds went to charity, basically. So they got as much, everything donated as possible, even got posters printed and all these sort of things. Lots of people were happy to chip in for this sort of an event, and the turnout was really good. So lots of people came, but not too many that you didn't have to wait too long to get a game. So what we'll do, let's go and have a look at the pinball machines that we had a go at.
Oh, you want to do that one now?
So as you can see there, lots of lovely, lovely pinball tables. I would love to take any of them home. Wouldn't care too much. I'd love to take any of them home. Maybe one day I'll get a physical pinball. Maybe if I actually, cleaned up this place a little bit and sold some doubles and things like that and put some funds together, I could probably get one. Never say never. I would definitely like one sometimes. I do like my actual arcade machines, and I am capable of fixing those when I get the time. Obviously, I probably am capable of fixing pinball machines if I put my hand to it. So obviously, if you're going to own a pinball machine, you really need to maintain it yourself. So maybe one day, never say never. Alright, now for a homebrew update. So, as I found that I've gotten settled into my new job and getting more relaxed and everything like that, I have actually found that I've been able to focus and do more homebrew programming. Only a bit over 2 weeks ago, I took the code of Cavern Fighter, the latest version that was sent off to manufacture for the Coleco, losing my voice, And I backported that game, because the game actually originally was written for the MSX, the version now. I've backported it to the original Spectravideo. It's running quite well. I'll show a little bit of video footage there. I've only just put in some rudimentary sounds at the moment. I'm just working on the sound engine. And porting that from the Spectravideo to the MSX is a really easy matter after that. And I did the Spectravideo first because, well, it's my first computer, and I really wanted to iron the kinks out of my documentation of making a cartridge game for the Spectravideo, because it is a little different to how you make one for the MSX. The running code's pretty similar, but some of the things you've got to do when you initialize and what you've got to run in the background that the system doesn't do for you when you're a cartridge is a little different. I am writing a programming book for the Spectravideo as well that complements my Coleco one, and that research is going to that. Plus, of course, it's nice to finish off games. So that's what have I done so far? So I've done Depth Charge, Lunar Rescue, and Cavern Fighter all across the original Spectravideo. Lunar Rescue needs sound, Cavern Fighter needs a bit more sound. I still have to finish off a stunt cycle for the 3 games that I'm going to. So you'll have my EA's 70s Arcade Classics collection, which will include Lunar Rescue, Depth Charge, and Stunt Cycle, all on the one cartridge. And I'll have that for original Spectravideo, MSX, and of course ColecoVision. Cavern Fighter, of course, is already released on the ColecoVision, so I'll be releasing an MSX and a original Spectravideo version. Original Spectravideo, I've got the cartridge shell all sorted now. The one printed in ABS is really good. Once I've got everything ready to go, I've got 2 different versions of the circuit board. I'm just going to try out that. I suppose that's technically another pickup. I've got some more circuit boards made for the original Spectravideo. There's a different case design for that, because instead of clipping in it, it has 2 screws. So I'm going to get my local friend to print that one in ABS, and we'll just compare whichever one I think is the best to go with. They use exactly the same chips, so it doesn't really matter either way. I have enough chips to make as many Spectravideo copies as people will be interested in. I'm not counting on huge sales there. It's mainly for my own benefit of doing some physical cartridge titles for the Spectravideo and sharing that with a few people. And the MSX versions, I have 100 manufactured MSX shells, and I can get more, and I have heaps of PCBs. Just not sure of how many chips I have, and obviously the chips are a little harder to come by. We'll see how we go with manufacturing those. Yeah, so they're all coming on nicely. And one final quick mention of Sydney 100 and Caverns of Death. No work on it this month by me. It was sent off for testing, but John Gamester81, he's been so busy running the Game On Expo and recovering from that. Hopefully we'll get some testing done soon. I just need to go through and just find all those little glitches, you know, like that platform's too high, or you can jump through the wall here or somewhere or something like that. So of course I've played the game so much myself, I'm not going to find all the bugs. It needs somebody else to play it for a little bit. So there are a couple of beta testers who are doing that. I'll get their feedback, do another tidy up session, and that one should be good to go as well. So we are really getting through, and I then want to get back to once all those titles are done, get back to Kangaroo. And there are another couple of games that I have my eyes on, but I'll do graphic works-ups of them first. And when I'm ready, I've done the graphic works-ups, I'll do some announcement of those. But yes, definitely back into my homebrew stuff. And I'm about to release a new version of my tile editor, because I started using the glass assembler. So I need to add some options to put the assembly files from you're designing your tiles and sprites and patterns into just a slightly different format. I'll put it into the options so you can turn it on and off. That'll work with the glass assembler. The glass is an open source assembler in Java that'll run on multiple platforms, because I'm conscious of most of the other stuff's only on Windows, and it's nice to support Linux and Mac OS as well. And into that, and other than that, playing with using Visual Studio Code, which is free, as a newer editor than what I've said in the past. which was I can't remember what it's called, dude. Anyway, the other editor that we had in the past, which is also free, but it's not being developed anymore. So I've just been playing around with Visual Studio Code and writing down some stuff, and I'll do an updated article on using that for homebrew development at some stage. Plus also clean this room up, fix some arcades. I do actually have my Sega Galaxy, which I haven't mentioned for quite some time, tipped on its side at the moment. I need to make a bracket to fix one of the legs, and then get some glass made to go on the top finally. There is a glass place near my new work, which is what has spurred that on. So we'll have some development soon on that one. Alright, I've probably rambled enough for this video, but good to all, hope everybody's enjoying their retro games and their modern games as well. I'm Electric Adventures, thanks to all my subscribers, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.